Yo. Okay, so I know my room is kind of a mess, so not the greatest recording environment, but I'm about to go to a sleepover, so I'm just trying to get this recap posted real quick. Um, Today I actually tested out the new PB trading strat, so I'll kind of go over this or at least the notes that I took on it, and then how they applied to this trade. So starting off today, we had these like honestly just really weird ass movements. I was trying to mark out some CSIDs, but could not really. I mean, like they just weren't really applying on the 1 minute time frame at least. I mean, like there was one here, and then right after there's um one around here. Or hold up. Yeah, one around here. So maybe I'm using these wrong. So let me know, because I mean they're a part of the strategy. They're one of the key influences. So if you guys see that I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. Because I never really understood these. So afterwards, I'm pretty sure that I used a rejection block correctly. So that's actually the main confluence that started this trade. Was we came down, and originally my indicator is kind of messing this up. There was a um 5 minute I think it's a BPR or BPA, something like that. Where it's a fair value gap and an inverse fair value gap together, and then it creates, I think it's BPR. So we tapped into a 5 minute fair value gap and an inverse at the same time, and then we came in and we made this rejection block. So I kind of just came in and waited for it to get tapped, and then we came down and we inversed this 1 minute fair value gap that we made on this manipulation leg. So after that, I entered off of this inversal. We kind of inversed it and then pulled back down. Um, I I mean, as you can see here, if I waited for the entire candle to close for the inversal, then I would have missed out on, you know, the majority of my trade. So I made a decision using my discretion, and it ended up playing out correctly. I was gonna pull it originally. This was my TP right here, but I ended up dragging all the way up to all-time highs because they're literally right up here, and I was just trailing my stop loss. I ended up getting taken out around here, which is where I put my stop loss at these two equal lows. But that's like the strategy that I had here. As you can see in the trade, there was some solid confluence that we were going to keep moving up, which is why I trailed higher, because we had these two equal lows, which then we invalidated right after. So it's a little iffy on how I feel about that. Um, but at the end of the day, it played out. I made $317 today. So right now, I'm kind of just shaking back from this negative that I created at the start of the account. Up here, we had this 180, then 180, break even, then 300, then only 99, then 240. So I kind of dug myself a little bit of a hole at the start of the account, and now we're shaking back from that. So I think I am like a pretty big fan of this new, like the new add-ons to the mechanical strat that I was trading from Blake, right? Because in here it's basically the same thing. I mean, it's a tap on an untapped fair value gap, right? After defining your daily bias. So like once you, it's always been, right? The mechanical strategy was you define your daily bias and you're drawing liquidity, right? And then you wait for an untapped high time frame like liquidity pool, a fair value gap, internal low, something like that. Um, and then you just wait for an inversal on a fair value gap of the manipulation leg, right? But now there's a lot more that goes into it that kind of makes it to where it's got a little bit like you get more setups, and then also you have more confluence during certain setups. So like you'll get more A plus setups using this rather than the old mechanical strat from, I think it was the 2024 or 2025 like course or whatever. So and then it's just a 1 minute to 5 minute inverse for value gap, waiting for the highest time frame throughout the leg. So like if the manipulation leg has a 5 minute inverse for value gap, then you wait for that to get inverse rather than the 1 minute. You could use discretion and go off of like the 2 minute or the 3 minute, even though there is a 5. If the 5 minute is going to take away most of your trade, but that's when you use these other things of confluence right here to then see, oh shoot, we've got a rejection block and we've got CSID. All of these things are or CISD. So all of these things are showing me that we'll inverse it, but then this 5 minute is going to take most of my trade to get inversed. So then you go off of something shorter, even if there is something on the higher time frame. It's basically the same as the mechanical strat with execution and risk, where you wait for body closure of the inverse for a gap. Unlike today, which I didn't, but there was obvious reason why I didn't. So then a 1-to-1 or 1-to-3 risk to reward, like low hanging fruit. This note was for me, but I'll read it off. Don't don't take super long trades. As you can see, like earlier in the week, actually I deleted my drawings on the chart today, so I can't show you. But last week, if you look at my recap videos, there was a lot of trades that I dragged for way too long trying to get like a 1-to-6 RR, and it ended up, you know, dragging way back up, and then I lose out on like $300 on the trade. It's just not very smart. So, avoiding things like that, being okay with a 1-to-1 RR, 1-to-1, 1-to-2 RR, and just getting that. Stop loss at the swing low or high today. Where I put my stop loss was at the swing low of this rejection block, which ended up playing out completely fine. We never dropped down during this trade below my break even mark once I entered anyways. So I'll have to see how that plays out like further in as I take more trades using this setup, but I think that I am a pretty big fan of it. I do this with every model, but one win I'm done, one loss I'm done. I don't really like trading twice a day. I think that it creates bad habits, and a lot of the time on your second trade you'll enter prematurely or like with a revenge trade, and then you end up just making yourself lose double the money. So at least for me, 2 trades a day just doesn't really work out. I wrote this last night, but honestly I disagree because I traded from, what was it, like 840? Yeah, I entered at 846 and I got out at what is that? 905. So overall, not a crazy long trade or anything. But it was a success, and I do think that this model is definitely going to work out well. Going forward, I think that it's going to get me through my first payout, hopefully, which I would like to get, soon, but I understand that's, don't rush it. So that's all I got for y'all today. I'm going to keep trying to dig out of this little negative profit hole and, get some better quality videos out there. I know this recap is kind of sloppy, but I'm going to leave in like 5 minutes. So I figured I would just get it out there. I'm not going to edit this at all. Just going to make the thumbnail and then, get up out of here. So I appreciate you for watching. Hopefully you learned something. And if I made any mistakes in this trade using rejection blocks or like CISDs, then please let me know so that I can work on improving it. And I appreciate your time. Have a good one.